Stan, you spent 40 years in the consumer insights industry. How do you define an insight?
It's incredible. That I've spent 40 years. That's about 40% of the total time the insights industry has been around. That makes me feel ancient. But that apart, uh, if you ask 40 people, you'll get 40 definition of insights. If you ask definition of insights over the last 40 years, you'd have probably gotten 400 different definitions of insights. Therein lies the problem with the insights industry. We cannot rally around on one single definition of what an insight is. I have a simple definition of insight, and that is anything that is retrospectively self evident. Those two words are mutually exclusive but collectively exhaustive. So if I tell you this is an insight, you should be turning around and looking at me and saying, duh, that's obvious. Great. Then my next question would be, did you know about it before I told you? And then if you say, no, then it meets both the criteria. It's self-evident and it is retrospectively so. But at the same time, you have to also subject that retrospectively self-evident thing to an actual use case test. It has to drive a business outcome. Otherwise, it's a good artifact. It's interesting, it makes you feel good, but if it doesn't have business outcome, what's the use? But that is more a test of the insight rather than what an insight is. And that to me is the simplest definition that I can think of. I've been using that. By the way, if you have to subject all the so-called insights that you get to this simple test, you will find that 7 out of 10 would fail that test and they would just become simple facts or simple, interesting observation, but not something that could fundamentally transform the world of business. You do get these kind of insights once in a while, probably, twice a year. But when you do get them, nourish them, cherish them, and act on them. And that's when you drive transformational business actions.